Topic 4.1. Okay, we're going to divide these two polynomials by using long division. So, I'm going to take my divisor, x plus 2, use long division, divide that into x cubed plus 8. Alright, we're going to do this in a four-step process. First, we're going to divide the two leading terms. So we have x to the third power divided by x, which gives us x squared. That'll be our first answer, x squared. That's the first step, divide the two leading terms. Step 2 is to multiply the answer x squared with the divisor. We're going to get x cubed and plus 2x squared when we multiply x squared times both of these. Step 3 is to take the additive inverse, which means we're going to change the signs. So this positive becomes a negative, and this positive becomes a negative. That's the third step, additive inverse, changing the signs. The fourth step is to combine like terms. We have a positive x cubed, a negative x cubed, those combine and become 0. Here we have a negative 2x squared and a positive 8. So those don't combine. That's the 4 steps. Again, we repeat the 4 steps. Step 1. Take our leading terms, which are negative 2x squared and x, and divide them. Simplify. And here we get negative 2x. So this is our next term, negative 2x. Then after that first step, we take our negative 2x and multiply it times the divisor. So negative 2x times x gives us negative 2x squared. And negative 2x times 2 gives us negative 4x. Alright. Step 3 is to change the signs, the additive inverse. So these negatives become positive. This negative becomes positive. It takes us to our fourth step where we combine the common terms, or like terms. Negative 2x squared and positive 2x squared cancels. A positive 4x and a positive 8 are here. Next, back to step 1, my first term. The 4x and the x, when you divide those, we get 4. So that's my next term, 4. Step 2, after we divide the first terms, we multiply the answer 4 times the divisor, and we're going to get 4x and a positive 8. Step 3, additive inverse. We change all the signs. So this becomes a negative, and this becomes a negative. Third step, fourth step should I say, is to combine the terms, the like terms. So positive 4x and a negative 4x becomes 0. A positive 8 and a negative 8 becomes 0. So there's no remainder. So this is the resulting polynomial from division. Number 4, we're going to use synthetic division in order to divide those two. To use synthetic division, we take our divisor, x plus 4, set it equal to 0, and then we solve for x. I get x equals negative 4. Take my solution, x equals negative 4, and I put all the coefficients from the polynomial here. The coefficient for x to the 4th is 1. The coefficient for x to the 3rd, since it's missing, is 0. The coefficient for x squared, since it's missing, is 0. The coefficient for x is 0, since it's missing. And then finally, our constant is negative 256. Okay. Now, everything above this line, we're going to add to the line above. And everything below the line, we're going to multiply by negative 4. We always start off with 0. So, a 1 and a 0 add to a 1. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. 0 and negative 4 adds to negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. 0 and 16 make 16. 16 times negative 4 is negative 64. 0 and negative 64 is negative 64. And negative 64 times negative 4 is positive 256. A negative 256 and a positive 256 is 0. Okay, therefore there's no remainder. this polynomial that's left over will be 1 degree less than the original. So this will be a 1x cubed minus a 4x squared plus a 16x minus 64. Next, we want to evaluate this polynomial here, or this function here, for x's 3/2. Typically, the way you evaluate is by replacing all the x's with 3/2 and then simplifying. We're going to use instead the remainder theorem, which employs synthetic division, using the remainder as the solution or the evaluation for this. So, we're going to take x to be 3/2, and using synthetic division, we'll have coefficients of 2, -5, -1 for x, and then 6. Okay. Now from here, 0, 2 and 0 make 2. When I multiply 2 times a 3/2, we get 3. A -5 and a 3 make -2. A -2 times a 3/2 gives us -3. A -1 and -3 is -4. A -4 multiplied by a 3/2 gives us -6. A +6 and -6 gives us 0. So, our remainder here will be the evaluation of this polynomial for x is 3/2. Next, I want to evaluate this function for x is -1. And again, I'm going to use a remainder theorem, which employs the synthetic division method. So, x to be -1. The coefficients are 1 for x to the 4th, 0 for my x cubed, -9 for x squared, 0 for x, and 8 for the constant. Okay, we'll start off with 0 here. 1 and 0 is 1. 1 times -1 is -1. 0 and -1 is -1. -1 times -1 is +1. A -9 added to a +1 is -8. A -8 times a -1 is 8. A 0 and an 8 is 8. 8 times -1 is -8. And a +8 and -8 makes 0. Therefore, since this is the remainder, this evaluates to 0.